years back, Mahindra brought in the Ssanyong brand into India. However, that brand couldn't cut its teeth in India, and Indians never fancied that brand somehow. So they went back to the drawing boards and decided to launch Ssanyong vehicles in India as Mahindras. The first of which we saw a few days back with the Alturas G4, which is essentially the Rexton. Now we have this, the XUV300, which again is a Tivoli. But before you dismiss this car as just another Ssanyong, let us tell you that this car has been completely indigenized by Mahindra here in India. And as a result, this car gets features which we Indians like.
The XUV300 is based on Ssanyong's X100 platform, which also underpins the Tivoli internationally. But it comes to India as a compact SUV, and hence it had to be a sub 4 meter option. Thereafter, Mahindra has reduced the overall length, and the XUV300 now measures in at 3999 millimeters in length. However, the idea was also to make the Tivoli look like a Mahindra, and we must say that Mahindra designers have done a splendid job at it.
Now there is little to doubt that the XUV300 is a handsome looking vehicle. It's an SUV and it looks like one. First and foremost, Mahindra has given it a lot of features. This headlamp panel, for that matter, comes with projector lights, and this is a whole DRL strip. At night, it looks really nice when you look at the car with these DRLs on. Apart from that, you have a small fog lamp recess out here, and notice that there are front parking sensors as well. There's a lot of chrome as well here, as you can see here. The grille looks very nice, and gone is the Ssanyong badge and everything, and they've redesigned the complete front end to have the Mahindra grille on this. So it looks really nice. There's more chrome below on the air dam. So overall, when you look at this car, it's got that boxy SUV shape up front, which is very nice to look at when you have it in your rear view mirror. But that's not all. The rear end has also been worked upon heavily, and that is primarily because of the sub 4 meter rule here. So you can see a nice large tail lamp out here, and these are LEDs again. You have rear parking sensors which are very handy while parking the car. But the most important thing is the boot. Now when the length of the vehicle has been shortened, the boot should get affected. Let's have a look at how it is. Now the loading lip might be a little high, but the boot space is usable. So Mahindra has also given it 60-40 split, which adds to the versatility of the car. But yes, come to think of it, putting up your luggage inside the boot will take a little bit of effort, because you need to lift up the luggage and put it inside. So that's the only, well, if you can call it a drawback, it is. But overall the boot space is nice, and I think a weekend's worth of luggage goes in very easily. Now it's time to go inside and see what are the really good features which the Mahindra XUV offers. So let's step in.
Inside, the XUV300 looks rich thanks to the use of good quality plastics all around. The two-tone dash looks good too and should go down well with the Indian Janta. The infotainment system is a very comprehensive unit. This touchscreen system offers Apple and Android compatibility, and at the same time offers quite a few unique features. This includes a function where the system gauges your driving style and rates you. The instrument panel is also properly loaded and looks smart. It also gives you a plethora of information that is helpful while driving the vehicle. The XUV300 also gets dual zone climate control, and then there are a plethora of storage options all around the cabin. We are also happy to report that Mahindra has loaded the XUV300 with a lot of other features. This includes parking sensors up front, ABS, 7 airbags on the top of the line model, and a unique system where you can change the driving style of the vehicle by changing the steering modes. The space offered inside the cabin is also good. There is no shortage of headroom or knee room.
Now Mahindra is launching the XUV300 with a choice of two engines. The first is a 1.2 litre turbocharged petrol, and the second is this one. This is the 1.5 diesel 4-cylinder, which also serves the Marazzo. However, in the XUV300, it's in a different state of tune and it drives very differently. It's also got a very flat torque curve, which is very handy in city conditions, but we'll get to that a little later. Let's start driving, I guess. Driving the XUV300 and the variant I am driving today is the 1.5 diesel. Now let me start by saying that the diesel feels very refined to drive. It's a nice and torquey motor, and especially when you are driving in the city, the power comes in at about 1500 RPM, and that makes driving very easy. This also means that there is a reduction in the need to change gears constantly, because you are generally driving at about 1500 RPM, so all you need to do is step on the throttle and the car takes off. It's also very smooth to drive. There are very little vibes which creep into the cabin, and that's a good thing. But once you go past the 2500 mark range on the rev counter, the engine becomes a bit audible inside. Now this is the electric power steering. Now what they have done is they have controlled the modes. So with a touch of a button, you can go either into comfort, into normal or sporty. In comfort mode, the steering becomes really light, and that means when you're driving in the city, you're driving like in crowded areas, parking in tight spots, you will feel the light steering wheel to be a boon. But the moment you flick the switch and put it into sporty, it weighs up, and what it does is gives you more feedback from the road, and that's a great thing to have. So overall, I would rate this car a very high number, especially because of the lightness to drive feel. You know, Mahindra cars have always been very heavy to drive. The steering wheel's heavy, you feel like you are driving a big car, but not this one. This one feels more car-like, and that's excellent.